normal level is 0.005 or less is a normal meter. So even just standing here pointing it away from the house, you get small. There's a big one. Nothing right now. Okay, that was the signal that was coming from it. When it shows a 1, it's going over 2,000 microwatts per square meter. So it was probably sending a signal at one point. And again, this is not average, this is showing peak. There it goes again.
I brought in a meter that measures the levels of radio frequency radiation, and what I'm finding is that these smart meters are emitting radiation every few seconds. But Pepco says smart meter communications take place every 4 to 6 hours.
What Pepco says is happening is that these smart meters send out communications every 4 to 6 hours on a daily basis. But what we're seeing is that these smart meters communicate about 4 to 6 times a minute, if not more.
We also tested 2 single-family homes, and even with just one smart meter, we got the same readings. It did not sit well with homeowner Lisa Crecelius in Potomac.
They're not asking you if they may radiate you or not. No, they're just doing it.
With smart meters, you don't have a choice. The frequency with which you are exposed to this radiation is determined by the power company.
Smart meters of death are commonplace these days, mandatory by the state that enslaves you. These smart meters communicate every few seconds, sending out bursts of radiation equivalent to a cell phone tower. Death towers are too far away, you say? Well, now they're parked right onto your house. Resistance is futile. Saying no is not an option. They're mandatory, like vaccines, like GMOs, like chemtrails, like fluoride in the water, like frack wells in your neighborhood. Death must be delivered to your doorstep because the system wants you dead before you can collect Social Security. That's how the left plans to balance the budget, ladies and gentlemen, by killing you softly, by killing you slowly, by killing you without resistance. They might as well be busting in your door and dragging you out to a death camp because they've made our entire country one big concentration camp. They honey trap you into big cities with the promise of fame and fortune, only to irradiate you, only to chemtrail you, only to poison you with the GMO food supply. You're bathing in a toxic environment. They've taken over the education system. They've indoctrinated you since childhood so that you'll accept the tyranny that has enslaved you. They offer you fake candidates to choose from. There is no democracy, only fake candidates, only a duopoly. They offer you the illusion of choice, the promise of hope and change. But what they're really offering is death by special delivery. The food you eat is illegal in most other countries. The air you breathe is spiked with industrial waste. The water you drink is full of lead, hormone inhibitors, radioactive tritium. They fill the airways full of mindless fluff, and now they're bringing radioactive death meters to the comfort of your own home. Cell towers 2 miles away are not enough. They need to bring that shit right next to where you work and sleep. And if you thought the weaponization of cell towers was scary, these smart meters are plugged into an endless power supply, stuccoed to your bedroom wall. If you've ever posted an anti-establishment comment to social media, that gets funneled into a data dump and reprocessed right into your smart meter. These things are set up to spy on you, to track your activities day and night. And while you sleep, they get turned on to full power. They've made every home into a Superfund site. Every workplace has become a hazard to life. The only answer to this tyranny is to protest. Not in a free speech zone, not in a prison cell, but to protest wherever and whenever you can. That's your constitutional right. By increasing awareness, by cultivating massive protests against the powers that have enslaved us, we may have a chance to fight back. The time to do so is now. Not when they've deployed Terminators, not when they've replaced every job with a machine to make you homeless and vulnerable. Right now is your last chance. This is the time to make the last stand. After this, there is no turning back. There will be no second chances once they deploy automated killing systems for your security. Organize now, build your networks now, become the resistance. When the next revolution rolls around, we need everybody on board, not just 3%. We can't be divided amongst black, white, and Hispanic. We can't be divided into small groups that hate each other. The enemy isn't disorganized, and it's not foreign. It's right here at home. They control the television, they control the career politicians, they control the education system, the major corporations, they control it all, and they'll have you hating each other by design. They'll have you fearing an imaginary boogeyman. They created ISIS. They create the international crisis. They created the Flint water crisis. They introduced GMOs into the food supplies. They're the ones chemtrailing you day and night and lying to you about what's really going on in this world. They've rigged the vote. They've rigged the voting machines. It's electioneering, it's a duopoly, it's tyranny. You're a fucking slave. Wake up. Recognize that you and everyone you know is going to go out the way the Native Americans did. The new trail of tears has already begun, and only a small number of people have woken up to that fact. Only a few people in our country know that 9/11 was an inside job. Only a few people know of the ongoing depopulation programs that are being carried out by the very people that are elected to serve and protect us. Their agenda is to terraform our planet into something sinister and artificial. Their agenda is post-humanism, to wipe out humanity once and for all, because they are the Borg. And their motto is still the same. Resistance is futile. We need to keep waking people up. We need to keep spreading the message until 300 million people a day in this country get their news from the independent media. We gotta keep waking people up. And maybe then and only then will we begin to take our country back. Until then, you are the resistance.
Investigate 9/11, and 9/11 was perpetrated by people within our own government.
You're telling me that you're gonna fake some terrorist thing just to scare some money out of Congress?
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Hennessy, I have no idea how to fake killing 4,000 people. So we're just gonna have to do it for real. Oh, blame it on the Muslims, naturally.
Is the reality you will think twice next time you're going out on a Friday or a Saturday night?
I don't think so, honestly, because like, how can you tell this is going to happen this day or tomorrow? You cannot know, so it's better not to think about it because you cannot do anything about it, so...
World currency. The new world order. Those are the roots of trouble.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. But I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
The Declaration of Independent States, whenever any form of government becomes destructive to its own ends, it is the right of the people to abolish it.
This is Ron Johnson from Stranger Than Fiction News, and if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.